And then
Yeah.
my final takeaway from last night, and we can spend some time talking about this. I think Lamar Jackson took the lead for the MVP last night. Now it's very close. It's a very close race. It's probably the closest race that I've probably witnessed in my years of watching the NFL, which is probably about, it's not too long. It's 3 to 4 years. I've been watching college football longer than I've been watching the NFL. So I'm not the most educated guy on the NFL. But when I look at it, this is the closest race it's been in the past 4 or 5 years that I can remember. And because you got, I think, legitimately five different guys who could win this race. But I do think at the lead is Lamar Jackson right now. And he just took the lead over what was, I think, Russell Wilson's award up to this point. You look at Lamar Jackson, he's completely revolutionary, if I could speak, revolutionizing the way that owners and GMs are looking at quarterbacks these days. I mean, when you looked at it before with modern day QBs that run the ball and maybe not be the most developed quarterback when it comes to passing the ball, people just would completely, you know, just completely ignore them because they wouldn't be willing to put a system around them, and they were like, oh well, we can't, get him to throw the ball, so we're just going to pass on him. Bump that, the Ravens are proving with Greg Roman, their offensive coordinator, who is the offensive coordinator when Colin Kaepernick was in the 49ers system. He's proving that he could turn Lamar Jackson into a star. I mean, Lamar Jackson always had all this talent, and the fact that they were able to buy into him, it's an amazing sight to see. When you look at his stats, he's completing about 66% of his passes, 2,036 yards, 8.0 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks, a 76.2 QBR, which ranks fourth in the league. Just looking at those passing stats, that's pretty amazing. He's on pace to throw for over 3,500 yards by the end of the season and over 25 touchdowns and only throwing a minimal amount of picks. I think he's projected to throw about 9 picks, which is great numbers for passing. But on top of that, you look at his rushing stats: 106 carries, 702 yards with 6 touchdowns. He's on pace to run for over 1,200 yards. Bro, that's over. That's almost what, 6,000? Or 5,000. That's almost 5,000 total yards of total offense when it comes to his projected stats, which I think is just phenomenal. He's revolutionizing the way teams look at the modern day QBs, because now people are going to start looking for who's the best player in the draft. Because when he was looked at as a quarterback and you looked at the other quarterbacks in his draft, he was taken last in the first round because people were looking at his passing stats and looking at his ability to throw the football. And everybody said all these other quarterbacks were better at throwing the football. But when you look at who was just the pure better athlete, the better player at the position, it was Lamar
It's clearly.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, and so people were blinded by that. And so I think he's definitely going to revolutionize the way that GMs look at the draft, because GMs are going to start to think, maybe I should just take the best available option at quarterback, no matter who it is. Because I think people overthought it, not only with Lamar Jackson, but with Deshaun Watson. When Deshaun Watson went into the draft, people started to over criticize and overlook his interceptions. They would look at all of his interceptions and say, oh, he's a turnover machine. But when you look at Mitchell Trubisky, he does this and this, which I think was completely just out of line and just completely wrong thinking. And it's been proven, because Deshaun Watson, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL now. And you look at Mitchell Trubisky, he's probably going to get moved on from in Chicago. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. When you looked at Baker Mayfield and you looked at Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen and Josh Allen, they all had better completion percentage and less interceptions. And so people said, oh, well, we should take this guy because he's a better passer. When really, Lamar Jackson was undisputed the best player in college football in 2017. I don't care if he didn't win the Heisman. He was the best player. And so now I think that GMs are just going to start to look at who can we get, who is the best player at the quarterback position, instead of who is the best thrower or who has the best mechanics. What are your thoughts on the MVP race right now?
I really agree. I believe that is Lamar's award to lose because look at his next three games. Some pretty good teams that if he beat these three teams, he's pretty much a lock, in my opinion. He has the Texans, the Rams, and the 49ers. If he could win two of those games, even if he win all three, then he's pretty much a lock. The way he's playing, I like how you brought up Deshaun Watson. We need to give him some credit here, because him and Lamar at the same time, they're showing that you shouldn't even just like, I don't know, like the way the GMs have been in their little draft mode of finding size and stature, and I don't know, but like you should take the best player. I like how they're shattering that mold of black QBs that they can't throw and they can
For
just
sure.
run. I love that. We should probably give Kyler Murray some credit too. He's playing good.
Oh,
Although
but
he
he's not
plays
in
for
the
a
MVP
terrible team.
race. That's why I didn't
No,
mention
yeah.
him. But yeah, he's definitely part of the mold breaking that's going on for sure.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, Lamar Jackson playing incredible. I believe he's the MVP. Like I said, Russell Wilson doesn't have too many quality games left. I mean, he got the 49ers last game of the season, but by that time they'll be resting. So I mean, I don't know. It's I feel like it's Lamar's award to lose unless something spectacular happens. I don't believe Christian McCaffrey is going to win it because it's really driven for a QB like that. That's we're just gonna say it how
Of course,
it is.
it's the same thing with the Heisman in college football. They're going to look at a
It's
quarterback
driven
before
for
they
the
look at a
QB.
running back or a defensive player. It's just the facts. It's just the facts.
Yeah, just facts. Um, yeah, that's pretty much my takeaway. Lamar Jackson's playing out of his mind. I told John West this a few years ago. I was like, "Yo, he's gonna be the best QB," and he ain't
You
won
you
to.
ne- you never
Yeah, no,
said
no, no,
that.
no,
Stop
no,
lying
no.
because I told you
Oh,
that. See, he's trying to front. I
oh.
said that when he was at Louisville and he played against Texas A&M in the bowl game in 2015-2016 season. I told him going into that year, watch out for Louisville, and sure enough, he doubted him, and then guess what? He's ran it up all the way up on FSU. So but
Oh
we won't
God,
get
you
into
ain't
that.
have to bring up that. We ain't have Durham. Sure.
Okay, and he it wouldn't have made a difference. It was 63-20, really 63-10. They scored the last 10 points in garbage time. So we'll just get into that, and then to finish off the topic, just to give you another stat for the audience, Lamar Jackson has also finished with 2 games this year of having a perfect QB rating. Perfect.
Yeah,
That
that's
I
that's crazy.
mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. But those were my takeaways from the Monday Night Football game. So if you like this video, hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and also click the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a stream.